I am sleepy. Okay, let's see. I didn't have it set up before. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I am tired than I thought. But I will not be able to sleep with this on my mind. And gotta get it off. So let's see. What did I have? Okay, there we go. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. Because I'm in the bed. I am in the bed. Tired as but it was already on my heart to say something. So now I gotta do it, especially because since I just watched the videos. And I don't know if I watched all of them, but I watched enough of them. And excuse the glare light, y'all. It's just the webcam light reflecting off my glasses. So have y'all seen, before I just go talking, like have y'all seen the video, any of the videos we're talking about? So we talk about Jess Hilarious. Let me pull them up real quick. Well, yeah, I'll do that. And hold on, let me jump on TikTok too, because I could do this one time. Okay. Okay. So, okay. I think I got it all together now. Hey. So listen, it was already on my heart, right? To like, I was like, oh my God, like, swear to God, like if I was downstairs right now, okay, I would have pulled up like my little topic board that I had at the desk, and you would see on there, and it's like support Jess statement, right? So obviously, last 2 days, my little one's been sick, so we've been behind on topics, playing catch up. Kanye been acting a whole donkey ass, and we, taking up all the topics, Lord, Jesus, and all the time. But ironically, like it was just still in my spirit, and every morning, because I listen to the Breakfast Club religiously every morning. Okay, not new, not just because Charlamagne's from South Carolina, but it's just a combination of my background in urban radio mixed with my love for Charlamagne as a friend and fellow South Carolinian, and just my love for the show. And I always felt like that show was for the culture, and it was, it is, and what it's going through is not unlike most radio shows go through this, y'all. Listen, to Jess Hilarious. First of all, Jess, she, as in me, loves you. Okay? Love Jess Hilarious. Been rocking with Jess is the Mess since I first found it on social media. Seeing her on whatchamacallit, Nick Cannon, Wildin' Out. Just I love Jess. Watching her videos with her son. You know, I've never seen her do live comedy like in person, but also it's been a whole pandemic. People ain't outside like they used to be. People crazy, they shoot, blah blah blah. But I would go see Jess in a heartbeat, right? I love Jess. And I stuck with the Breakfast Club the entire time throughout that, just listening to them. Because I was one of those people who I knew when it was time for Angela Yee to go. I heard it, I felt it, I could hear it in the energy in the show. I knew, I could tell when it was time for Angela Yee to go. And I knew that if I knew, the listeners knew. And definitely somebody like Doc Winter, who helped put that show together and is definitely a veteran in the game. He definitely knew. And of course, Charlemagne been doing radio as long as I've been doing radio. So him and MB, they definitely knew. So when Angela Yee left, I was ecstatic because I felt like good. I like Angela Yee as a person. I've met her a couple of times in Miami when I worked for 103.5 The Beat. Like Angela Yee as a person. But as far as for me in the mornings on a morning show, not necessarily my cup of tea. She's actually way more suited for the slot she's in now, which is middays. Middays is, usually you want somebody who's a little bit more calm and even keel, because the type of music you're going to play there is that as well. And usually your ratings, you kind of think about it like this. You're playing music for people who are at work, listening at work on their phones, on their computers, before people started working from home and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Angela Yee was great for that. Angela Yee, Lord. And so then when they started auditioning people, it was definitely, y'all know, we was tired. We was excited, but we was tired at the same time, because going through so many people, no consistency. And I mean, no matter what in radio, at some point it's the consistency. The consistency would be called benchmarks, okay? And I think after the dust settled from we looking for a new co-host, we were ready to like, okay, let's get it over with already. But I know the first time I heard Jess on there, oh my God, I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. Jess is perfect for this. That's it. I love her. And I also understood that Jess never did radio. There were certain things that she would say or whatever where I understood that Jess never did radio. But Jess gets a pass because Jess is Jess. I saw how hard she worked. I know how it is being a mom, getting pregnant, and still trying to figure out how to keep working and not lose your job. And that's already a lot of stress, okay? But that chair, that third chair, was definitely meant for Jess. It was meant for you, Jess. Don't you ever doubt that. Like, don't doubt that. Okay? Now, like everybody, when we found out Jess was pregnant, it's like right after she got the job on the show, it's like, okay, but we rocking with Jess. So, and she shares her life on social media. So, okay, cool. Because, in this day and age, you can share your life on social media, still have a following, et cetera, et cetera. Here's my thing though. I know how radio is. Now, when they brought Lauren back to fill in for Jess, I thought it was a great idea. I did. I don't compare Lauren and Jess. Okay? So all that stuff, bitch ass Corey Holcomb talking about, he just talking. Because he is a comedian who clearly always got something negative to say. And he got a podcast now, but he always been a guest on radio shows too. So, sir, you don't know enough about radio either. not as a full-time radio personality, okay? Let mother school you. Anyway, I don't compare Lauren and Jess because they are not the same. Jess has nothing to worry about except one thing. I feel like it's just a combination of everything happening. Meaning she had a baby, probably some postpartum. She's on the road. And I know I heard her in the video earlier say she took some more shows on the road because she started feeling funny up there. And boy, I'm going to tell you, as somebody I started my radio career in morning radio as an intern. And I'm going to tell you something. From that to working on different morning shows, to being a co-host, doing mornings myself, I understand the types of things that you can face, the types of things that you can go through. I get it. I totally get it. The difference is that I think with Jess, it was a combination of her feeling like she had to do something different for radio. Even though I know Charlamagne and Envy did everything that they could, right, to try to co-host, to try to get her to understand, okay, that be you, do you, whatever, even I know the little running joke when she was doing Jess with the mess, I heard her, trying to stretch it out when she was like Jess with the World Wide West, right? And this somebody, if I can get Rick on TikTok, that would be great. Okay. I heard her, and I felt like then she was trying to squeeze herself into a spot. And she didn't have to. But I think the only thing that was missing there was that once she got the job, right, she probably felt like she had to do radio. And it probably was that moment of trying to become a part of the show mixed with doing radio. It's a job mixed with, this is a whole new life for her in real life, mixed with being a comedian full time, mixed with being an actress full time, mixed with not knowing the politics of radio. And there is politics. I mean, I don't care what show you're on. I don't care how big the market, how small the market. There is politics. And it's a lot in the beginning of my radio career that I did not know. And a lot of mistakes I made. Even, God bless the dead. Like, I just remember, like, the same thing that they're doing to you, Jess. Like, when I was an intern, but I was very eager in the beginning of my career as an intern. And I really wanted to be on the air. And it was no secret, right? But, and at that time, I thought, people, we like a family. We support each other. It is what it is. So what people are trying to do to Jess now is what people try to do between me and Wanda Smith. Rest in peace, Wanda Smith. Back then, when I was an intern on Frank and Wanda in the Morning. And I feel like it was because people compared our voices. And I was working on a morning show. If she wasn't there, I got a chance to read something. And then all of a sudden, I also, one time when Magic wasn't there, I got a chance as an intern to do my first on-air shift. And then when I came back to V, I got hired to host like a comedy night, and I'll never forget. Okay. Now, mind you, Tavares, who was Wanda's son, let me say right now, please do not take this in no kind of way. I'm not about to let nobody twist this, okay? But this is real. And like I said, rest in peace to Wanda Smith. I got the utmost respect, love, and respect for her. She helped pave the way as well. But she went to our program director, Reggie Rouse, at the time, and she and matter of fact, I'll just focus on this one time, but it was a couple things, and it really wasn't, y'all. We're completely not the same age. We don't look anything alike. The only thing is that I came in working on the morning show, and I had a deep voice, a husky deep voice like hers. So people naturally compare that, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know if it got to her or if it was a combination of that mixed with when I got hired to host a comedy show. I don't do comedy, never did comedy. I was hosting, like, when you're coming up in radio, you try to get all the hosting gigs you can get. Because if anybody know, like I know, that's the money that you can get right there. Like, you don't get that money when you finish hosting at the end of the night at the club. The promoter or the club owner gonna give you that. You need that. You grinding, you coming up. So, let me tell you, I'm looking at my drink. Hold on. So I remember her going to our program director, and I didn't know at the time, and I didn't know until my program director called me in there after he had a meeting with her. Well, apparently she went to him because she had a problem with me being able to host a comedy show and do a commercial about it on air. She felt like I was stepping on her toes, like it was disrespectful because everybody knows that she's the one that does comedy up in there. And, and literally Reggie was almost like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking you to not do it, but, we're going to have to try to figure out a way to make it where, like, if you're going to do it, this is probably not something that you want to do ongoing or, especially not if they're going to, promote on the air, etc. And I just remember the feeling that I heard Jess in her voice when she was like, when she got back to the station and she felt like things were changing and nobody was saying anything to her and she didn't know what was up. Like, I just remember feeling like that. Like, I remember feeling like, dang, like I felt kind of weird. Like y'all got it weird up in here because, like, I never would expect, you know what I'm saying, like, Wanda to, I didn't think there was a problem. Like, and now granted, I was very young at the time and still new to radio. Okay. So, I think it always kind of, and it was never me and her never had no problems. I think it was just like the same type of radio station politics, the same type of listener speaking about it and getting back to the host and the host feeling the need to defend themselves. All of that. Like, it happens, and as much as things change, as much as radio change, things will always be the same. Including, like, no matter how digital things get, terrestrial radio is still gonna be terrestrial radio. So I remember, and it was a couple times, like, Jess, I will not say that this won't be the last time that you go through something like this. But I want you to do this, Jess, before you give up. And I'm not sure if you feel like giving up. Maybe you're just venting, okay, online. But I also know the politics of having to deal with that in the studio and making it weird in the studio. And and it's so hard, y'all. You would think, like, because it's radio and nobody can see your face, that it would be super, super easy to feel however you feel. And it ain't nothing, right? But that's not true. Radio is theater of the mind, my G. Meaning, however you feel, people are going to hear it, especially if you got fans or if it's fans of the show and they know. I'm telling you. And that's exactly what Jess is going through right now. And I want to say this to Jess. I know I heard you say Angela Yee ain't as crazy as they made her seem to be. I get it. I get it. But right now, Jess, you're hurt and you feel some kind of way. And the reality is this: that show is big enough for 4 chairs. But I also know how the people in radio play politics. And I'm gonna tell you something, it don't matter how big you are. I have seen the biggest of the biggest lose their job. Okay. I one time lost my job in radio, and there is no love. Okay. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. I was doing afternoon drive, and I could feel I had been feeling, that same little feeling, like some in the air, the PD acting a little funny, the operations manager acting a little funny. The operations manager at the R&B station looked like he was trying to give me a little heads up, but I didn't know what was going on because, I'm focused on my show. I want to get good numbers. I want a raise. I want a bonus. I want something. And I never forget when I got off the air that afternoon, I was, and ironically, this is when I took over Charlemagne. Charlemagne was doing afternoons in Charleston at 92.5 The Box after Wendy Williams' show. Before he went to go do the Breakfast Club. And then when Charlemagne left to go do the Breakfast Club, I actually got the job taking over Charlemagne's spot. And I was doing afternoon drive at 92.5 The Box in Charleston, South Carolina. Shout out to everybody in the 843. Y'all know I love y'all. See y'all soon. But I after a year, like literally almost like right at the end of my year contract, I walked out. I literally did my last break, y'all. Walked out the door. The program director was standing right here. The operations manager was standing right here. And they was like, hey, Tangi, you got a few seconds? Can you step into my office? The operations manager office. Now, I've never been fired from radio before then or after then. But, I heard enough about it to know enough about it, right? So, wait, what? You know what? I'm definitely going to do a show about this tomorrow. We're going to do a show tomorrow about remembering the subscriptions you got because, boy, I tell you, man, all kind of stuff popping about my bank account. I subscribe to this. Anyway, so we went to the operations manager office, and they were just like, we love everything you're doing, blah, blah, blah. The ratings are awesome, blah, 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 blah. You came in, you did this, you was able to make revenue working with the sales team, blah, 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 blah. But we have decided to go in a different direction for the afternoon show and for the station, period. It's got nothing to do with you. And we thank you for your service. But unfortunately, you have to be escorted out, and we will have to box up your stuff and mail it to you. Yeah, y'all, it's like that. Like, it's literally like that. Like, they love you till they don't. And then it's period. Straight up. And I wasn't so much like hurt because I was ready to go back to Atlanta at that time. And I felt like I had kind of maybe it just wasn't enough money there for me at that time. And I just felt like the company, Apex Broadcasting, that owned that station at the time, like our visions just weren't aligned. They didn't really want much, and I wanted to win. Right? So, Jess, I heard you say that Lauren, she kept doing it. And let me tell you, and so you went and told Taylor to do Lauren a intro and let her do it. Shawty can have the shit because she ain't about to keep saying Jess with the mess, because that's not Jess with the mess. That's Lauren with whatever Lauren was doing, right? I just wish And look, I get everybody up there busy. It's a lot going on. And it's a new show. And it's a lot of things that go into play. Even with Charlamagne, like it's a lot that go into play. And I can tell that Charlamagne absolutely adores you. And I'm sure you know this already, Jess, but Charlamagne is a good friend. He's a good person and a good friend in real life, outside of the radio. Like I said, I've known Charlamagne a long time, and even with the short time of the long time that I know him, he's always kept it 1,000 with me. Always, been there for me through some tough times. And so, just to have somebody like him that really, really believes in you, just like that right there, that's a blessing. Now, I don't want you to use this situation to be angry and like start feeling like that's the energy you got to give on a show. I'm glad that you were able to speak your mind online because I feel like you're comfortable there. And the reality is, Jess, if you knew more about how radio went down, you probably wouldn't be having that conversation online. Okay? But I know you from Baltimore, like you tell us all the time. And you're going to speak your mind, and we get it. Right? But this is the blessing in disguise. Okay, Jess? We don't need you trying to do anything other than be Jess. Being Jess is amazing. Being Jess is enough. Jess is funny. Jess is the comedic timing of anything that Lauren says. Jess is the comedic banter of a Charlamagne that we need. Jess, that show is greater because you're there. And I don't want you to not think that. And this is from somebody who literally don't know you, but I do know radio. Okay? And I do know Charlamagne. But more importantly, I know radio. I know Jess how they do things sometimes, even when they don't mean to, the way they move, when they're trying to figure things out, because at the end of the day, especially when you're dealing with a monster that's as big as a conglomerate like iHeart, they gotta protect the advertisers and the bottom line. And what you may take as personal to a degree is really just you not understanding certain things about the politics of radio, because it's not necessarily personal at all, sweetie. It's just that, and I didn't mean to sweetie you know, it's just that if you're out, right, I've got to make sure that whether it's endorsements you have or whether it's companies that want endorsements during that morning show slot from a female, right, I have got to make sure that I can continue to make this revenue for the station, that I can continue to do this so that not only the station continues to win, but everybody got a job to keep. Everybody. And that part is a little bit out of Charlamagne's control, and that he can tell you. But the good thing about this is that I hope it opens the conversation with, I know Thea Mitchum is up there. I know Doc Winter is still over, I think, urban programming, maybe worldwide for iHeart. Is that now, Jess? Now that you got that off your chest, now that that's out in the open, now that the world know, now that the people that be know, as well as your co-hosts, as well as Lauren, as well as the listeners, everybody. Now y'all can have the conversation to figure out where this show goes from here. Girl, you are fine. It is, first of all, baby, y'all are the new Tom Joyner, like Ricky Smiley. Like, look at all them shows. Like, y'all right up in that caliber. Like, they have more than 2-3 hoes, more than one woman. I mean, look, there was a time when Portia from Real Housewives, the Brett, Maria Moore, Ricky Smiley, Special K, Gary with the T. Who else? Somebody else is on there. Oh, Rock T doing the sports. Yo, and the DJ, Jotline Sound, and my girl Beyonce Aloysius was producing, and she spoke sometime. Listen, Jess, I know it may seem like mess, no pun intended, but girl, it's just radio. And I know that it may seem like I don't do all that, I don't like all that, I don't like the way that's going down. But I'm gonna tell you what's happening with this situation could be the best thing to happen, because now y'all can have that conversation, and you're, like I said, you get to be Jess again and just focus on being Jess again, and do the things that Jess love, and do your mess. Like, if you don't want to do Jess with the mess there, cool. If you do, then Lauren needs to be your assistant producer. I know she's like the news producer, but if she's going to be the news producer, then she can help you gather the news. And, y'all can figure out how it works, right? But y'all got to figure it out and not just go in there, not know what's going on, because you can definitely hear the energy, right? I think they put Lauren in a tough spot, but being that she probably worked at TMZ, she's probably a little bit used to the cutthroat side of things when it comes to media behind the scenes. But this is not that, Jess. And if y'all think different, let me know in the comments. But I will say this, Mama, we got your back. And when I say we got your back, I mean people who know radio, and people who love the Breakfast Club, and people who love you, Jess Hilarious. We love Jess because she's hilarious. Period. Girl, you ain't got to do the mess. You ain't got to do fix my mess. You ain't got to do nothing but be you up there. And it's okay if coming back from maternity leave and dealing with a new dynamic of the show that pissed you off at first because they didn't tell you, and they was walking around on eggshells, so they didn't know how to tell you, or they still figuring their shit out. I get it. But just know, girl, you got a whole world of people out here that love you just for you. And so if Lauren is going to do the latest, then Jess still got to do the mess. Because nobody can do the mess like Jess. And we need that, and we want that on the Breakfast Club. And Jess, fix my mess. Because you are very, very multifaceted. And so those things belong to you. Having somebody like Lauren as the latest, I don't in any way think that that's the mess. And I think part of that is figuring out how that fits in to the show. And you have every right to feel how you feel, because like I said, I know how them radio execs do, and I know how they end up putting that extra pressure and stress on the people that end up having to be your co-hosts, and then it makes it tense in the studio, and then you hear it, and then the show suffer, and it's just not cool. So I will say this. I saw the other day, I had Lauren over off in the news studio, I guess, when she was doing her report. Now it did sound a little less conversational, right? But I felt like I could see something happening there, so that you could actually have your space to talk. And because I have seen her talking more and you talking less. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Jess, this morning I didn't even know you was there, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't like that. I love Lauren, and I get what you're saying. I think Lauren LaRosa is dope. I think she's a great addition to the show. But I think she's just that, in addition to the show. And Jess, you are the third co-host of that show. There is nobody else that can be that. And I think that Lauren is going to find her way. You're going to find your way. And as a show, you guys will come together. You got some vets and some of the greatest in the game on your team. And now that they know how you feel for real, baby, Let's get it together. Not you, Jess. I'm talking about them. Because we love you. And we get it. All right, y'all. So I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired. But not as tired as the people that got to get up and do morning show in the morning. I love y'all, but I miss getting up there early. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have y'all noticed the change with Jess on the Breakfast Club? Somebody tag her and let her know, man, this job, this opportunity, this everything is still hers. Okay? And whatever position that Lauren walked her way into is hers too. And don't let people pit them against each other. Listen, they try to do the same thing in rap. Jess, you know what it is. Lauren, you know. Well, Lauren, you a little young, I don't know. But they used to try to make it seem like it could only be one number one rapper, female rapper. And they proved that wrong. And like I said, look at all these other morning shows with all these multifaceted hosts. It's doing good. And sometimes it can get a little talkity with everybody talking, trying to find your way, but you will get there. But you guys have to talk about the role that Lauren plays so that y'all can work that out and get back to the show. Because Jess, we need your mess. And Lauren, we like your latest. And Charlemagne, keep giving us the donkeys. And Envy, keep lying to us and making us think that we can request a song to get in the 9 o'clock mix. We still love your mixes, though. All right, y'all. I'm about to go to bed. I will be up first thing in the morning listening to the Breakfast Club. Per usual. One thing about radio. Once you do radio, you never listen to radio the same. Okay? Ever. Anybody that's done radio ever knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, Jess, we are here for you. Y'all show Jess some love. Show Lauren some love. But definitely show Jess some love, man. Because I know. Remember, she just had a baby too. She back on the road. It's a lot. And radio is not for the weak. Morning radio definitely ain't for the weak. See how long it took Charlemagne and Wendy Williams to turn back around and be back connected and talking again. And look what it took for it to happen. That is real easy to fall out. I fell out with several of my co-hosts over the years and ended up, kind of getting back cool with some of them. But sometimes it's just, it ain't even, when you working together like that, man, it's mixed with the politics of radio behind the scenes, the things that they do without telling you. It's easy to feel some kind of way. It's easy to feel some kind of way when the money ain't looking right on your end and you feel like somebody else got the other money and you feel like, listen, I get it. Jess is not wrong. But, Jess, this is radio. Even though this is a new day for radio, some things in politics will never change. So after this, I feel like you'll find your way. And I look forward to hearing it and watching y'all grow. And like I said, y'all, Mother Mob, let's meet back here tomorrow, not this late. And let's talk about the show after the show. All right? We love you, Jess. Y'all tell Jess we love her. We love you, Jess. And still, hashtag free Wendy. Hashtag free Wendy. And hashtag we love you, Jess. Hashtag we love you, Jess. Good night, y'all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right. I am definitely about to go to bed. Good night.